Hi, you guys. It's me. I'm back, Arsena. Thank you for tuning in this week. We have so many things to talk about, so we'll jump right into it. Thank you for tuning in and always being support of us. And also, thank you for checking out cool, awesome site, instigator.com. So let's just jump right into it tonight because there's a lot of stuff that I want to cover as far as I want to get this theory out that I've been thinking about Freya. Um, how many of you guys actually think Freya is really who she says she is? Because I'm starting to think, hey, Pretty Caroline is
And
in the
always being
house.
support of us. And also, thanks.
So this theory that I have about Freya is I'm thinking that really she might be the crazy auntie. I'm thinking she's a crazy auntie. I'm thinking that it's really Dahlia because it's just weird to me that all those years that she was watching them, she never wanted to. I know she kind of interacted with them a little bit. We seen kind of like that flashback that she was there. But I'm starting to think that maybe Freya is really Dahlia, especially with the powers that hey Ruthie, especially with the powers that she exhibited last week. So I don't know, it's kind of out there. I'm still thinking she might be crazy auntie just coming to check in and make sure none of them have, reproduced, which i.e. Klaus has now, but just trying to make sure that her end of the bargain is kept. So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, see, Rufy said that too. See, when she started saying 100 years and that she had watched them and, oh, you were everything I wanted you to be. And, Esther's like, Finn has his parents like kind of wherever right now. So you really don't have Esther there to kind of be like, hey, no, she's not your sister. This is my sister, crazy auntie, Dahlia. Get away, get away. So I'm thinking that possibly that's who she really is. Um, if she's not really Dahlia, then she's definitely still connected with her at some point because she's been watching them for a while. And apparently she's unhappy with the boys. So it's going to be interesting to see what she's going to be up to this next episode. I really look forward to it. So what did you guys think of last week? Yeah, I hope it's Freya too. I really do, only because I was so excited to find out that it was a girl because I know Rebecca had always got on being the only girl and being around like all these brothers that kind of get crazy. So I'm hoping that it really is Freya because I would love for Rebecca to have that type of relationship. I think that's a relationship that she wanted to seek out a lot in other girls or whatnot. You see her kind of get close to Elena on TVD. Then you see her kind of get close to Haley here before she went away. So it would kind of be good for her to have like a sister, like a blood relative that she can kind of, hang with and get to know. So I'm thinking that would be a really good thing for Rebecca at this point in time. So let's see what you guys are already starting to chat about. Okay, so Passenger said, I feel like Freya might be the one to make Finn see reason. I feel like she will too. And Freya and Finn were pretty close. Ruthie did bring up a good point, and she was ripped for him, so she might side with him. I could see that. I could really see that, especially with the older kids, Finn and her kind of just being her and Finn for a while before the rest of the children came along. That might open up a whole nother storyline for Finn and a whole nother storyline as to, how he really feels about that. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think Finn was there when she got taken. I think he was. So, I mean, for him to kind of see that, and kind of still remember, but not really understand, then yeah, I could definitely see them siding with each other. Definitely. Yeah. The whole like what's going on with Haley, I'm gonna be honest, the werewolf storyline, I absolutely do not like. The only part of the storyline I do like is Nathan Parthens, aka Jackson. He's hot. And I like him and Klaus's dynamic. Um, Anytime there's good dynamics like on the show, I love it. And I like the scenes between just Tim and Klaus as compared to him and everybody else. So I really enjoy that. As far as, I don't know, last week, first of all, I'll go ahead and tell you guys. My favorite scene last week was the scene, of course, when Klaus snapped Haley's neck. But it wasn't for that reason. Uh, it was mainly for the reason because I kind of saw my classic Klaus come back. And I know a lot of people after the episode, a lot of people was really disappointed in Klaus. A lot of people really didn't understand, where he was coming from. But if you guys watched TVD, that's the way Klaus came in. Klaus came in on fire. He didn't care. He wasn't taking names. He only gave you 5 or 10 seconds to explain yourself. If he didn't like your answer, you were gone. That was Klaus. And I kind of like that because we've been seeing bits and pieces of his personality really coming back. And that was really the only thing that I really, really, really liked about the episode as far as like Klaus coming into his own, because I know the writers are all on this redemption and they're trying to make him softer with the baby and worrying about his family. But let's face it, regardless of whether you have kids, regardless of whether or not you have family issues, deep down inside, you're still going to be the same person. You're still going to have the same personality traits. Klaus is still going to be crazy. He's still going to be impulsive. He's still going to be isolated. He's still going to feel a certain way. He's still going to have his guard up. These are just traits that he's still going to have regardless of what's going on in his life. If not, him having a daughter may intensify that. So, which we kind of see that it did with him snapping Haley's neck. So I liked it. A lot of people didn't. I did, because I'm always Team Klaus. So anything that deals with Team Klaus, I'm always pro. And if you guys really watch that was classic Klaus. Like coming in with the smooth line. It's almost like a point to where if you look back at the scene, he knew by the time she had walked off and he pulled her back, he knew at that time, okay, Haley's stubborn. She's not going to listen to anything I say. Let me kick the charm up, tell her what she wants to hear, which is semi what I want her to know. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to take care of business, because this is what I have to do. I have to protect my daughter. So that's why I like the dynamic, and that's why that was one of my, favorite scenes. So let me take off and catch up on a couple of the chat to see what you guys think. Let's see. Freya, good point, Lucy. Freya might be the key to Finn's redemption. I could see that. You would get mad if people ship Finn and Freya. Yes, we are not trying to have any Showtime things on here, but not trying to have that. Let's see. Okay, so Emily did confirm it. So he was there. That's what I thought too. Like I was thinking in that scene, like I remember seeing the little kid and her screaming and Dahlia kind of pulling her and Esther kind of being pregnant, holding, another little boy back. So that's what I thought too. Let's see. Oh yeah, that was good when he pleaded for Klaus to help Haley set his people free. Ah, yes, James C518. Jackson is hot, no doubt. Yes, it is. Or yes, he is. Yes, you know what? In a alternate universe, those are two mothers that I would love to see sit down and just have wine. Esther and Cersei. That would be great. And let's see. Yes, when he slapped Jackson, yes. That was classic Klaus. Pretty Carolina said the same thing. Klaus in season 3 of TVD was the best Klaus. And James C518, season 3 was the reason I fell in love with Klaus. And then Passioner stated it's kind of how they write Damon. Emily said, I'm so glad Haley annoys me less now. Haley does annoy me less now. The only thing that I really didn't like last week was how she kind of tried to throw it up in Klaus's face that the issue was him. First off, you knew who he was when you did your one night stand hookup. Second off, granted, you didn't know that you and him were gonna, end up reproducing after that one night stand. But at the same time, even the whole time while you were pregnant, you knew you were having Klaus's baby, and you knew what implications would come on with that. So I think at the same time, if you were having any doubts that he was the problem, you would have took the money that Marcel offered you in season 1, and you would have just disappeared with the child and not had the child connected to any of the originals. So last week when she made that statement, especially after, you got to think about where Klaus was when he first heard about this baby. He basically said, kill Haley and the baby, and that was it. With him coming as far as saying, nobody else needs to protect my child but me. I can protect my child. I can protect our child, period. That is a lot of growth for Klaus to admit. And I just felt kind of bad that she kind of threw it up in his face, because the reason why I feel bad when people throw up Klaus's faults all the time in his face, throw up the stuff that he is really responsible for, because Klaus does do a lot of crap. So we all know that. But when he's trying, it's kind of hard to throw up in somebody's face who's trying, because I even tweeted it. I was like, it could be a lot worse. He could just not care and say, you know what? Freak you and the baby. Deuces. So I was kind of upset with that dynamic that it kind of brought out in Haley. So that was the only part I didn't like that Haley said last week. I didn't think that was kind of fair to Klaus, especially since he's been, fighting family. He's been fighting other, fractions. He's basically been fighting the whole time, all with the sole purpose of holding up his end of the bargain and giving this family a chance, like Elijah begged him to so much. And basically, trying to make this work and trying to see if, he can actually protect his daughter. So I thought that was kind of crazy. I really did. I thought that was kind of crazy. But tonight, I think is the night where we're going to get a little glimpse of what Hope can do, which I'm kind of really excited. I'm just praying that they don't kind of twilight it out as far as like her abilities. I'm praying that like it's going to be really slow and subtle. I hope that it is. I hope it's not like a big, oh my God, moment. So, which Julie Kleck and the writers did say we were going to see it slowly, what Hope is capable of and what she could do. So I think that will be really fun. And I'm hoping that that's really how they try to incorporate it and do it throughout the course of the show, because it's something that I think a lot of fans are kind of worried about. They don't want it to kind of, overshadow everything else that's going on with the show, just because there's so much other stuff that's getting really good on it. So I'm hoping that works out for the best. So what do you guys think? Like, what's going on? Yeah, see, I hope they don't either. I hope they don't twilight it out. I really don't. Like, I'm hoping that it's a witch ability, because for one, they really haven't explained how she's a vampire and how she hasn't like magically, why she didn't even like bust out of like Haley's womb in the first place. So they haven't really explained that. We know a werewolf gene technically can't be, triggered unless you kill somebody. So I'm just hoping it's witch abilities right now, because that will make it more realistic with what we've been told. Which I'm hoping that's where the writers are kind of thinking, she might can bust out windows like Freya was doing last week and bust up gates, so I'm hoping that it really goes that route as far as the other route. We don't want her flying and levitating and all that stuff. We don't want that. We want it to be realistic. They've kept the pregnancy kind of realistic. So they've kept it kind of in tune. Yeah, a lot of people see the baby storyline still is iffy to some people. I'm still iffy to it. I do like the fact, I can bring up, I do like the fact that they've kind of put um, romance on hold for Klaus. And right now it's just all about protecting his daughter, because I think that's the more reasonable thing. Honestly, to be honest with you, the whole thing with him and Cammy season 1 and then first beginning of season 2, old Klaus, I never would have seen. I never would have seen that. I mean, old Klaus, we got to think about that. This man was like dead set for 500 years to find Catherine. He was dead set to break this curse. You know, I don't see him kind of letting anybody kind of, you know, take him off of that route once he gets going. So I kind of like that the writers have kind of put it back to that. Hey, if it's all about my child, I'm going to try to protect my child, and that's it. That's all I'm here to do. So I kind of like that. I hope that Cole doesn't die either. It broke my heart last week, and I think it kind of hurt Finn a little bit too. So I'm hoping after Finn thinks about it, I think he was kind of angry. I'm hoping maybe after he thinks about it, he'll, you know, fix his brother. I hope he does, because I don't want him to die either. And Ruthie was just like, she loves Hope. Hope is adorable. She really is. I love babies, and I love when I see, of course, what woman wouldn't love when she sees like all of these hot guys with this baby? I do. But at the same time, I will admit that sometimes when I'm watching scenes with her, I forget that I'm watching a vampire show. And I think that's what some of the fans that love just the vampire aspect and the mythology aspect of the show kind of are more hesitant as far as like taking to the baby, because some people just don't want babies in a supernatural world. They don't think it works. So I think that's more or less where they're hesitant. And plus, like I said earlier, they don't want it to soften up any of the characters, you know? They don't want the characters to start, you know, oh, this, that, or the other. Because honestly, how I see it, Klaus is going to have her locked down in a mansion. She's not going to go nowhere. The way I see it is, if Klaus was like the way he was with his siblings, it's going to be 10 times worse with his daughter. And I just hope they kind of keep that realistic. Slowly, yeah, you will begin to change and you will begin to see things differently. But like I stated before, at the core, you're still going to have your issues. You know, he still has a lot of other unresolved family issues. You know, so Klaus has the most unromantic storylines. He does. He really does. And again, I have to say, I haven't really, you know, everybody knows like I'm, you know, pro KC. I haven't really seen him have like a good, you know, romantic storyline since then, because I kind of liked what both of them, you know, brought out in each other. So yeah, I agree with you. On the originals, as far as that, I haven't really seen the romance kind of strike me, or, you know, see a woman. Now, I will take that back. When he was with Guinevere, I liked her because she threw it back in his face. And I feel like that's what Klaus needs. Like, yeah, he needs somebody to understand him. He needs somebody to know why he doesn't, you know, why he does the things that he does. But he also needs a woman that can, you know, kick him in his balls when he needs it too. And I felt like Guinevere was that. If they wouldn't have maybe had them hook up the way they did and kind of prolonged their interaction together, I might have possibly could have shipped that on the originals, I will say. I liked their dynamic. They had great chemistry. Somebody said they kind of want Daniel back on Teen Wolf. Yeah. And kind of want Nate to play Cole. Yeah, I have to admit, I do kind of miss the originals as far as like from the body swaps. But I will say, and excuse me if I mispronounce it, I think it's Marissa. Basically, the actress that plays Rebecca, she's doing an awesome job. Awesome job. That scene last week where her and Klaus meet, the mannerisms, you can really tell she did her background and she watched, you know, how Claire interacted with Joseph and the different small things they would do to kind of like click in your head, okay, this is Rebecca. And I loved it. So I think hands down to her, she's doing an awesome job. I loved it. So I loved it. And I can't wait to see her actually with the rest of the family tonight. So that's really going to be good. Oh, yeah. You love him with the real accent. I do too. I do too. And I always wonder that, like, with everybody with their real accent, I kind of wish they would just start letting Haley have her real accent too, because it slips out in it. So I just think if everybody has an accent on the show, let's just do it. It just makes it better, I think. Because I loved her. If you guys watched the special guest, Marie, okay, there it is, plays the new Rebecca. Yes, she did great. Thank you, Ruthie. But I loved her in the Stalker episode, and she had her original accent, and I kind of liked it better, so to speak. So I think that was good. So let's see. Lucy just doesn't want any character to die. I don't either. I don't want any character to die that is instrumental to the show or that adds to the family dynamic. I'm definitely down for that. She was in a super rock hard place. Yes. And says, Passenger says, even though it's way too early, I like to see Hope use her abilities. It would be nice if even hybrid babies could use their abilities at that age. It would. It would be nice. And that's why I'm hoping that they kind of move it in slowly. I think the only thing that they don't want it to turn into, and I'm sure Julie and the writers have like spoke about this a lot, is they don't want it to start being compared to, you know, we had a baby on Angel, we had a baby on Charm, we had a baby on Twilight. Like, I'm hoping they kind of go a whole different route with that. So yes, Ruthie says she loved her too. Her and Joseph did great. Just that last little scene, I'm like, I want to see her and Joseph this week, hands down. Like, I love that, you know, ending part. It was awesome. Passenger said, I like all the Rebeccas. That's right. And sooner or later, we probably will be saying that. Like, I like all the Coles. I like all the Rebeccas. Yeah. I do. I do miss Claire Hall. I do. I think what she did with that character was just amazing. But remember, her body is the only one that's really preserved. So that's a promise that Klaus made to his sister. So there's always hope that Claire could return. So, because they do have her body. It would be awkward if Haley all of a sudden had her accent. It would, but I just wish that maybe they would have thought about that earlier. Because I don't know. I just think it's like, excuse me. I just think it's like a lot easier. I don't know, with some of her lines and stuff. I like her better when she's just talking like Phoebe. Even though she's supposed to be Haley. I know that's crazy. I know. Let's see. That would be interesting to see Dahlia versus Haley. It really would. And I'm hoping tonight, that brings up another good point. I'm hoping tonight that they kind of explain my theory, what I have about Haley and Hope. Because like I've noted before, Klaus hasn't made any hybrids besides Hope, or make like that, but make like Tyler besides then. So I'm really hoping that tonight, and I think they're going to touch bases on it, because Finn's asking for Haley's blood as compared to maybe getting a sample of Klaus's blood, because he kind of knows that, okay, if the child turned Haley into a hybrid, then those two are connected. Boom. I just need her blood, and then I can find out where Hope is. So I'm hoping they kind of explain that too. And Haley take her down for the curse thing. Yeah, I mean, I could see that, but at the same time, I really want that to kind of be Esther and her, and I really want it to kind of be some of the other original siblings to get a piece of that. I want to see her against her family as far as like Aunt Dahlia. I think she has a lot to like answer to them for. So Emily said, I mean, adults do have babies. Yes, they do. Let's see. That's what you think is going to happen to James. And Passionate said, Haley alone will not stand against Dahlia. I don't think anybody alone is going to stand against Auntie. Auntie, my dog wants to join us again, but Auntie seems pretty crazy. So I think she's going to be on a new crazy level that is going to be higher than Michael and Esther combined. You know what would really be interesting? The parents actually getting in and helping with the kids to get rid of her. Because I could kind of see that, because it might take all of them to get rid of her. It really might. Let's see. That's a thought. They could bring Davina in. And James said it too, about having the family come together. I think that would be the best thing. And I think that's the most obvious thing that people want to see. That is my wish for going into season 3. Yes. Yes, I do feel better that we are getting a season 3. They haven't released anything, I don't think. And if Ruthie is still in the tag, because I know sometimes she has to leave early, but I don't think they've released anything as far as like episode numbers. So as far as like how many episodes, if it's, you know, like a full season, I don't think they've kind of went in the details. I'm so glad that they are getting a season 3. My only thing is, and I'm sorry, season 3, I want crossovers. I want them. I want crossovers. I don't even care. At this point, I don't even care who visits. I just want it to be a crossover. I want it to interlink with current storylines, because I just think both these shows would be so dynamic and so great if they combine. And also, I think that they can give the Flash and the Arrow a run for their money. I think they could. I mean, if you really look at it, if they really did like a huge crossover and really intertwine like all these stories and everything, I think it would just be amazing. It will be, you know, a double punch. And I think it can be done. I think it should be done, especially if they're wanting to stay on top for season 3. So I really want that. If Klaus found out Tyler was human again, he would, you know, I thought about that too. Would he just go ahead and turn him back? But I don't know, because it's hard to say. He possibly would want to. You know, Klaus took pride in Tyler. He was his first official hybrid. So it's kind of hard to say. Emily, in the world where he isn't super busy. I know, they keep Klaus busy all the time. He did say he was done with Mystic Falls, which I think is crazy. Only reason why I say that's crazy is due to the fact that the originals come from Mystic Falls. Mystic Falls is more of their home than it is for the TBD crew. I mean, it was so many episodes to where, like, you know, Esther could get most of her power from there. She could also link in with the Bennett witches from there. I mean, it's, you know, she could draw energy from the spot where she died, which is back in Mystic Falls. So it's so many connections that they still have to Mystic Falls, to where I don't see why they never would come back to Mystic Falls. I don't see why they wouldn't. I don't think she's officially dead. I think, yeah. I think she's definitely subdued, because Finn is drawing from her power. Yes, James C518. We need crossovers. Everybody's saying that. Emily thinks that TVD has to end before the crossovers happen. I do too. I think if they did do one, I think the only one that would really draw it really big would be Caroline, Stefan, or Bonnie. Emily wants to see Stefan. He is always looking for a new start. He is. He really is. And that's my fear. I'm just kind of pushing for crossovers right now, because I noticed, like, when I was going into one of the other fan forum tags, it was a lot of people that had no idea where the originals originated from, different background stories and stuff, because they really didn't pick up on them from TVD. They just started watching them, you know, when the show started. So I kind of want Julie to go ahead and tap into it before it's too late. I don't want the fan base to get too separate to where you have some fans saying, who's Tyler? Who's Stefan? Who's this buddy he had back in the 1920s and all of this stuff. Like, I want it to still kind of strike when it's hot. I think that's one of the reasons why the Tatia crossover didn't do as good as they thought it was going to do. If you look at it, and actually that was one of their lowest rating episodes this season. And I think more the reason why it was because it didn't really resonate with the fans. You know, we sat through 2 episodes to where we listened to, you know, Klaus and, you know, Elijah get on Damon and Stefan about being in love with the same girl. And it was kind of nailed into our head, Tatia. You know, this is why it all began for Elena. This is why, you know, Klaus is here. This is that. So it left from Catherine to all leading back to Tatia. So I think if they would have maybe incorporated that a little bit more in season 1, then I think that crossover would have been more huge and would have drew, you know, more ratings for them, because everybody would have said, oh, we finally get to meet Tatia. Because I know that's what I said as soon as I seen it. I said, oh, here we go. We finally get to see the true story. But I don't think everybody was on that same page. So, and with the flashbacks, I definitely want to see more flashbacks. And I just think season 3 can be really good. Really good. And Pretty Caroline said, I want to see Caroline for obvious reasons. Yes, if they don't sit there, oh, I'm not even going to get on the whole Caroline thing right now. And then with the rumor saying it could last and it couldn't. I don't like anybody that hurts my babe Caroline. So I hate that. Yes, I want more flashback scenes too. I really do, because, and I think that's another thing that, like I've noticed that this show is on point when they concentrate on the original family. When they put all the side plots apart and they concentrate on the original family, I think this show just really resonates and it really hits. And looking at, you know, looking at ratings wise, that those episodes have been the ones that have been most praised by fans and everything. So I think having more flashbacks with Esther and Dahlia, having more flashbacks of just maybe even the journey, you know, Esther and, you know, Michael discussing, you know, their plans over in the new world for this new family, just anything to where we can get more information on these fascinating characters, I think would be awesome. They mentioned Caroline as, for me, the Caroline mention in season one was the throwaway, because we hadn't really seen any indication of Klaus having any type of relationship or any type of feelings for Caroline before. So, because to be honest with you, I almost missed it watching the episode when it was, oh, I'm going to call Caroline, and was like, who? Because I was too busy watching them fight. So if you really didn't watch it or really didn't know the originals in TVD, that just would have been a throwaway for you. Like, it just would have been like, who's Caroline? His girlfriend, his mom, what? Oh, okay. You know, it just would have been throwaway. So I think I really don't even consider that a mention, honestly. Klaus also did say something about Bonnie, because he said he had spoke to, in season 1, he said he had spoke to a witch back in Mystic Falls, which I don't understand why they just couldn't say, I think he said either a witch or either a Bennett witch back in Mystic Falls. I don't know if he actually named her family, but I don't know why he just couldn't say Bonnie. I think that would have been great as well. So, but looking at it, we are running out of time, but I just wanted to say, please tune in tonight, watch live if you can, even though, like I told most people, they have a season 3. Right now, what we want to guarantee is that they have no budget cuts, because more money equals more chances for crossovers, more sponsors, a better time slot, as far as like maybe moving them for Monday and getting them somewhere else. I would love to have them back to back with TVD. I think that would be great. I think it'd be a way to kind of connect the shows, or having them maybe like it was before, Tuesdays, and then, which I think Tuesdays was great for them, and then Thursdays, anything. So I think that would be pretty awesome. So we still want to watch live. Use the hashtag The Originals, because that always helps out. Don't forget that you can always come back here at Instigator.com and win prizes and rewards for your trivia questions and polls. And other than that, if you guys still want to talk or still want to hang out with me, you can follow me at The Originals AAF on Twitter. I'm always constantly checking in and I'm always there. So if you want to finish theory in the conversation, jump on over and I'll join you. But other than that, thank you guys again. You guys are always awesome. I enjoyed it. And don't forget, stay tuned. We have Team TSD coming up. They're awesome. Woo! So definitely be sure to give them a show. And again, I will see you guys next week. And I'm sure we will have lots to talk about. Bye.